Hey everybody, how you doing? This is me doing my final video on my open heart surgery that led to collapsed lung, and aka I died for almost a minute. And, got brought back, they finished the heart surgery, and when I left off my last video, I had been in recovery in the hospital. And it was tough. The first 2 weeks, it was tough. Um, it felt literally like my chest. I don't know how else to describe it other than how it feels to get a regular cut, like if you cut yourself with a knife, and just magnify that by 100, and in my chest. That's how it felt, and coming out of the fog of the drugs they give you for the pain and for the recovery, it was just it was not a good 2 weeks. Well, I'll admit I don't remember tons from that 2 week period, but I do remember when I started to come out of the fog. And, for anybody who knows me, I am a vehement homebody. My pastime is sitting at home watching movies and TV shows. I know, super exciting, right? But that's what I like to do. And being anywhere for 2 weeks away from the house, it's not my thing. And so I'm in there and I'm chilling, and I'm like, all right, my mom is coming to visit me because she's my only living family member at that time, and still, she's coming to visit me every day, and we live like 30 minutes away from the hospital, and I felt bad for her, and I kept telling her, like, look, why don't you just come every 3 days? Even though I wanted her to be there, because I had no other support and company or anything. Because yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit of a negative Nancy here, but I have many good friends, and I have distant family members who I'm not necessarily close with, but they're good people. Well, my mom had let it be known that I let it be known that before I went that I was going for open heart surgery, and my mom was kind of filling in the updated facts as we went along. Well, not one person came to visit me. Not one person. And that was a surprise. I figured maybe one or two people would. I wasn't even really having anybody message me. Yeah, I'm pouting. Uh, but that's okay. I did need help with some of the financial part afterwards. And I did have friends and distant family who helped me that way, which was a huge help. But I made it through the next 2 weeks. It was really rough, being in there and doing nothing, and it was just I didn't like it. But who does? It's a hospital, right? So they finally say, "All right, man, you can go home." And they're like, and like I said, mentally, I still wasn't necessarily all here. I It took me another few months to even get close to being clear in my brain. But I was clear enough to know what was going on, and that I wanted to go home. So the doctor finally released me. And I hadn't seen the doctor in like the last 2 weeks, because at first he was all the time, "Hey man, we're checking on you, blah blah blah." But after that 2 weeks went by, he had other people to deal with. So you didn't see him. You didn't see nurses that often either. You really just saw the orderlies and people who come around with your food and with your meds, stuff like that. But they let me go home. I was home for about 16 hours, and a medication they gave me, no joke, made me go deaf. Not permanently, but temporarily. And I can't remember what the medicine was. But it wasn't like, oh man, I lost a little bit of my hearing. Nope. It just gone. Couldn't hear nothing. And so I go to the local hospital, which is just down the street, and they're like, sir, is this or that happening? And I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. So they ended up having to write everything down. Ugh, it sucked. Well, they sent me back to St. Thomas for another week. And I got to a point, this is 5 weeks I had been in there total. I got to a point where I said, I need to see the doctor right now. And he came in and I said, dude, it's like this. I said, I don't like signing myself out of hospitals. I said, but if you don't let me go home, I'm going to have to. I said, I can't stand being here anymore. So he finally agreed and he let me go home. And they sent physical therapy and stuff to get me to recover physically, which, 5 weeks on a bed, not moving around much. And I don't even sleep in a bed. I sleep in a recliner. And, I could move around and everything, but I'm already slow. But I was real slow. And they brought physical therapy, and I saw them a few times. They wanted me to see them for like a month, and I was like, oh, hell no. I was like, I will see them until I feel comfortable, and got through that and started feeling good. And anyway, this video is already too long, but I was able to recover fully, and I will admit now that after all of this, I feel, heart-wise, chest-wise, better than I have my entire life. And I say that and now something bad will happen again, but when it happens bad a lot in your life, you kind of get used to it. And this is a very whiny video, but that's okay. Somebody's got to be a whiny bitch. Today it's my day. Anyway, so yeah, I was able to recover. The whole process was traumatic and emotional, but I got through it. And in the end, on the other side of it, it was definitely something that needed to be done, and it was definitely something I'm glad I did, because, again, I had to, or I probably wouldn't be here. It's coming up on 2 years here in a couple months that it'll have been since I had it done. And, yeah, I just wanted to do these videos to, if not for anybody else, for myself. If you've had, a situation out there where you've dealt with this in the past, or if you're have this coming in the future and you want to talk, feel free to message me. I think I'm going to do one more video on what I saw, and both times that I passed away. Like I said, it's not super exciting like everybody else's, but I have had a few people who've asked me to do it. So I'm going to do that. But I got to get off this video now because I've almost gone 10 minutes. All right. Thank you guys for listening.